Hey guys, I'm Fancy.
And I'm Colleen.
And this is Murder by Design.
So welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be doing our intro to the case of the month that we're discussing. Something that I'm very excited about, a case that I'm very passionate about. And we got to speak to one of the biggest ladies that's helped try to solve this case, Ms. Jax Miller. And this is the case of Lauria Bible and Ashley Freeman out of Welch, Oklahoma.
Yes, and it is a insane case, much like some of the cases that we're dealing with right now. We've had a busy day today, guys. We have been on a couple of times. I did a couple lives myself. Then Colleen and I did a live with Joseph Scott Morgan and Clyde Steiger talking about the Vallow case and the Epstein case. And now we're here tonight talking about this for the rest of this month, and we're really excited about this one. We've been working on it for a while, and really I think it's an interesting case. It's got so many different things that are interesting about it, don't you think, Colleen?
Yeah, so this case involves drugs, it involves murder, it involves arson, it involves sex trafficking, it involves torture, it involves
kidnapping.
It's literally checks all the boxes of crazy cases. And it's just such an interesting case. We're going to also be talking about this case in our upcoming podcast over on the Good Wives Guide to True Crime with Todd Matthews, the former director of NAMIS, since these two girls are considered missing.
Right.
They have been since 1999. And so we're going to be talking about kind of what how a missing persons case gets solved on their end and what it looks like for them when somebody is missing for this kind of long period of time, and how these national centers work with the state investigation units, like in this case OSBI.
Right.
And so we'll be talking about that later on this fall. But in the meantime, we just had to bring you this case because even though it's from 1999, major updates have been happening in this case this last year. And the end of this month is going to be huge. And that's when our final episode will be out, where we get to tell you the finality, hopefully the finality of this case. It's still happening right now to this day, still happening right now. And so we can't wait to bring you guys that at the end of the month.
In fact, there's like an August 15th deadline on that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So let's lay down the facts a little bit here, Colleen, just a little bit about the story so they know, because, we get into that in our first episode, but let's just give them the skinny version.
So there's Lauria Bible and Ashley Freeman, some 16-year-olds who Ashley lived with her parents, and Lauria had come over to the Freeman home for Ashley's birthday. This was in December of 1999 in Oklahoma. And unfortunately, the next morning, neighbors reported that they saw giant flames coming from the house. They arrived, and unfortunately, it had been so long that the fire was actually dying out. The fire had put itself out at this point. And they found Ashley's parents were dead. There were many errors in terms of the investigation right from the beginning, which led to speculation on the suspect list.
Right.
And when they arrived, there's two dead parents, but the girls were missing. And then there were many theories about where they were. Did they kill him? Did a boyfriend kill him? Did they run away? There were just so many different options that they were considering at the time. And that's when things kind of went cold. And unfortunately, obviously it just happens right in 2000. And the early 2000s saw a rocket soar of major cases.
Right.
And that kind of took precedent over them. Obviously, missing girls in Oklahoma is important. But when, there's Scott Peterson, Drew Peterson, we've got the girl from California who went missing under Chandra Levy. So there were many bigger cases happening. And then obviously, Iraq and 9/11 happened also. So this kind of got thrown to the wayside, but it never was over for the parents and the families and the community. And it's a very interesting community, as you'll find out. In this area in Oklahoma is surrounded by mines. very similar to our Susan. What is
Susan
her?
Powell?
Yeah, Susan Powell case.
Whose parents just got their settlement case finished, and they got awarded something like $98.5 million or something like that from the Department of DCHS, I think.
Right.
I can't remember who it was, but I think that's what it was.
It was regarding because they had allowed him to see the kids, and then he ended up killing the kids and himself, and
while they were in the CPS custody. Right.
Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of similarities between the geographical region of the case. And it definitely does play a role in the investigation and currently what is going on when trying to find them. The community has dealt with something that happens in communities where there is a lot of mining or construction. So there's been a lot of contamination and pollution in the area, where they've actually had to abandon towns and they turn into ghost towns. So there's not really anybody there anymore, which then leaves these just open fields and empty buildings of nothingness. So there's more crime in those areas, but because no one's living there, no one's really policing that area, which just allows, the case to continue on. But it's unfortunate, as you're going to hear from us throughout the month, on how much information the police and investigators had and did not act on.
It was definitely a case that was not handled well by the police department. We even have a body that wasn't found in the original search, like coming up and being found by the family members. Like this is just a strange little case. And this happens a lot, it's nothing to knock law enforcement. We work with them a lot. We love them, and I believe that they all do their best that they can. But many times, these smaller towns, it's very hard. They don't have the resources. Their detectives are not trained in these types of investigations. So we even have some of that in this case. And so we're going to cover a lot of those things and get into what we really think happened.
Yeah, and Jax Miller, wonderful interview with her. If you want to listen to the full one, it is on Patreon, as well as arrest affidavits. Are also on our Patreon. You really can't find those anywhere else. So you definitely want to find us on Patreon if you want that kind of information. But we interviewed Jax. She has written this book. The case in question, she has titled Hell in the Heartland. Wonderful book by Jax Miller. I'm not paid to say that. It just really is a good book. And she's a great girl. And I know I've said this over and over again, but she is very much like the investigator from the Don't F with Cats Netflix one, where she was not, in law enforcement. She just was really drawn to this case and wanted to help. And she has been instrumental in helping resolve this case. There was a HLN documentary, the same title of her book. However, it has been taken down off of Hulu and all streaming services. So unfortunately for that, but luckily for you guys that we're covering this case. So if you want the actual information, we have the information for you.
I think they probably took it down on the release of her book, so they're going to re-release it with probably some new footage or something. That's generally what they do when a book comes out like this. So,
and with the updates from just these last 2 months, they most likely will have an entire new episode to add to the series.
Absolutely, yeah. So, but it was a great series. It's a great story. It's very interesting. There's a lot of craziness that happens. There's people claiming it. It's just nutty to beyond belief. I think how many people claimed it? Like, there's a lot of serial killers that get involved in this, right? 2 serial killers that
claim they did it.
It's a pretty interesting case, guys. So you've got a lot to talk about over the next couple of months. So you're going to want to come back every Monday night at 8 p.m. We'll be talking about this for tonight and 3 more weeks of this. And then, like Colleen said, you're going to want to check out the Patreon to hear the entire interview with Jax Miller, because it is really great. We also in there we have our entire interview with Sarah Turney as well, from the case that we just covered last month, the Alyssa Turney case. So the entire thing is in there as well. And then, you guys, I'm telling you, we covered the Vallow case today. It has been insane with that case. We covered Epstein today on our Facebook page, so you can go and find us at Facebook /MBD True Crime. We played the entire 4 and some odd hour stream of the preliminary hearing for Chad Daybell today. Supposedly, I missed it because we were doing our live earlier for the Epstein thing. But I guess there was like some sort of 21-minute phone call from Melanie Gibb that was played. She took the stand. We got to hear body cam footage. And in that being said, we did, you guys, we did the 24 hours of Vallow on July 22nd, waiting for the world to end. Obviously, it didn't. We're all here. So are they, unless they're zombies. But maybe they are, because look, guys, look what we've got here. I am so excited about these shirts. We have shirts and we have cups and we have bags and all kinds of cool things that is to commemorate our 24 hours of Vallow with Web Sleuths. So we're both selling these together as a collective, Web Sleuths and us. It basically just says, I survived the Daybell Rapture 2020. On the back, it says, we'll never forget Tylee and JJ. We're going to be doing one of these every year for because we've decided that we're going to come back, every year to do this. And so we designed this shirt. We're splitting the proceeds with Web Sleuths. And then in the name of JJ and Tylee, we are going to be donating to a charity that deals with child abuse. So Trisha and the team here has not picked that one yet, but we will be picking it soon, and we'll let you know what we decide to do. But it will be dedicated in their names. So we're very excited about that too.
Right. We've got so much stuff that we have done this summer, so many things that are still up and coming. We're going to be finishing out our second season on the Good Wives Guide to True Crime. And then we're going to take a fall break so we can catch up, record some stuff, get prepped, and then be back just like we did last year and re-kick it off in January, start the year off right. But you will hear our podcast with Todd Matthews, like I said, the former director of NamUs. Our Murder by Design here will always keep running. We still do our lives every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, quick update tidbits with shorter little case updates or just cases that there's not enough information for us to cover in a full episode here on Murder by Design. And so if you guys have any questions on any of those cases or other cases, you can always feel free to email us at goodwivesdish@gmail.com. And I definitely encourage you, go to our new website. It's in the chat here, or go to our Patreon, do both. On the Patreon, and it's on our membership website too, is I do a historical podcast once a month, and I cover more of the gruesome cases that are a lot too disturbing to cover over here on Murder by Design and our Good Wives. This past month, I just did Charles Ng and Leonard Lake, the Miranda murders, and this coming month, I'm going to be going through Albert Fish, and I have it from his own words, letters, documents, testimony straight from his mouth. It is so disturbing. That content will only be for our exclusive members because it's way too disturbing to put out to the general public. It's child abuse, cannibalism, sexual assault. It's disturbing. So if you're interested in that gory stuff like I am, again, feel free to check us out over on Patreon and our membership site. But yeah, we're bringing you guys, old and current cases. We're also going to be starting to talk a lot more in depth about exactly what Murder by Design is and going through the psychology of the criminals and how they became that person that they are. And I know we talk about it briefly in our cases, but we're going to be starting to talk about it a bit more because that's really what we do here, Murder by Design. How does somebody become this person?
Right. And Something I just got notice of, we're going to be able to have subscriptions here on YouTube now. So I have to learn all about it. I'm just now finding out that we got approved for them. So that was brand new today. I literally just checked my inbox today and it came in. So as soon as I figure out what that entails, we're going to have subscription services here for you guys, which will be more bonus content that you can, get. So we're going to have all kinds of stuff for you guys. The new podcast that we'll be launching, probably we're looking at to try and get it out starting in October with Todd Matthews, is going to be called Gone Cold with the Good Wives and Todd Matthews. So we're really excited about that. And then Tori and I are also beginning to launch a little talk show, and Colleen will be on there sometimes, but it's going to be a little different from what we do here. It's going to focus a lot more on pop culture and the entertainment industry. We'll have some interviews with actors and actresses, directors, filmmakers. We're going to have a true crime segment, and you're going to get to see Mama Ty. She's going to come on and she's going to give us lunchtime specials. And I'm so excited about that. And then she will be beginning to appear over here on this channel, giving you some of her bigger recipes that she includes in our Good Wives Guide to True Crime podcast.
And her recipes are focused on our Patreon as well.
They are focused on, they are featured on there. So you guys can go get them there as well. I mean, we've just got so much we're doing right now, guys. You don't even know how busy we are trying to bring you all of this. Like, we had this tonight. We had the other thing this afternoon, just 2 hours ago. We just ended it 30 minutes before we came on here. I was covering Vallow all day. Like, it's
nonstop, guys.
It just,
True
it's
crime
nonstop. And you know what? As the courts does not take a break, and as the courts are beginning to open up, we're starting to see more and more things come forward. We're going to start hearing some more stuff in the Leticia Stout case. There's updates in the Madeline McCann case that just came out, which I think are total bullshit, but I'm going to write a blog about that, so don't worry. So we've got so much that we are doing, but we are super excited about bringing you this story, the Lauria Bible. I got it right that time, Colleen, and Ashley Freeman, on Mondays at 8 p.m. So you guys are going to want to keep tuning in here. So,
well, and the reason she gets it wrong is because it is not spelled how Laura should be pronounced or spelled. There's an I in there.
Yeah, it has an I in it. So I always want to say Lauria. I also mix up their last names because you have no idea how much stuff is
There's
in
a
here.
lot of stuff in the brain.
There's a lot of stuff in my brain, like not just true crime either. I run, a lot of the business side of the company. So it's just a lot that is in my head. So if I get things wrong, please correct me nicely, just kindly do it, because I'm a human and I sometimes make mistakes, but I got it right that time and I'm proud of myself.
We're so excited, guys, and please stay tuned. You're going to want to listen to this case. Like we said, the information is not out on Hulu anymore. So if you want to know about this case, you need to tune here to hear it from us. And so you can get this information and hear it straight from Jax Miller's mouth.
Oh, and I'm going to tell you what, if you have not subscribed and rang that little bell, you're going to want to do so right now, because all week long, we're going to have updates from our experts on Vallow. We're going to have updates on experts from Epstein. So you're going to want to do that. I'm lining up Kirk Nurmi to come on again and talk about the lawyer side. We're hoping that we can get my best friend's brother, who's really one of my very good friends too, DA from California, to be able to be on to kind of debate with him about the Epstein case. So we are super excited about all of this, and you need to ring that bell so you get all the notifications. So thank you guys for joining us again tonight. This has just been a short little thing that we wanted to come on here, introduce you to the case, tell you all about the things that we've got going on, and, say hello on a Monday night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Make sure that you keep coming back.
All right. Bye, guys.
Okay.